For our next keynote, please welcome CEO of Glamsquad, Amy Shecter, for an interview with Vice President of Content at Groceryshop, Krystina Gustafson.
Well, thank you for joining us, Amy.
Thank you
and
for
I thought
having
maybe
me.
a good icebreaker would be to talk about why you chose that song, other than the fact that it is September.
Well, my husband's a composer, and my daughter, who's 17, is a singer-songwriter. And when you asked me what I wanted to walk out to, of course I had to reach out to them. And my daughter wrote back and said, September. And I said, why? And she said, because the audience will really understand that song. And I said, what does that mean? And she said, they're older. So that's why I picked that song.
You're just more seasoned. No offense there. But great. No, I think us on the grocery shop side are really excited to have someone from the beauty industry up here on the main stage with us, because it is a category that has really been a leader in innovation. And as we look at Glamsquad specifically, you guys started back in 2014, and you were squarely focused on beauty services. But since then, you have grown quite a bit. You are doing branded products. You are doing physical retail. I thought it might be a good place to start, just to tell the audience a little bit about the company and its growth.
Sure. Glamsquad is beauty brought to you. We are an on-demand beauty services company. We go anywhere, anytime. So we provide hair, makeup, and nails to women wherever they want it. We go to your home, we go to your gym, we go to the hotel. We can do weddings, we can do any life moments where you want to look and feel your best. We have about 2,000 beauty pros that are highly vetted by us. We think they're the best of the best. And we believe that our mission is not just doing hair and makeup, but helping women be confident and allowing them to be the best that they can be. We're currently in 6 cities and really excited about expanding.
And tell us a little bit then about the branded product, because I think that's a really interesting evolution of the company. Beauty is, of course, a very popular category, but it's very highly fragmented, very competitive, and it's a little bit of a risk, to transition the business into product. So what was behind that thinking for you?
So we have a really unique proposition. We have done over 700,000 appointments in a little over 5 years. And by the end of this year, we'll hit close to 1 million appointments. We use our appointments to collect data on our customers, and our beauty pros supply us with lots of information about what our clients like and what they don't like. And we call it a perpetual feedback loop. And we use that data to drive our decision-making around our products. I was a power user of Glamsquad before I became the CEO, and every time I had an appointment, the beauty pro would use a product on me, and I would go to my iPad and buy the product. And I said to myself, if I'm ever in a position to be a part of this company, I will absolutely develop branded product based upon the needs of the consumer. So we think data is our superpower, and we have a very, very unique proposition for developing product.
Yeah, so basically you take a look at the data, you determine which products you're going to develop. What does that feedback loop look like then when you're actually creating the product itself? Are you out there in the market having your beauty pros do sort of an iterative process there?
Yeah, it's really interesting. We take the product, the samples, and we give it to our beauty pros, and we have them use it in-home and collect data from our clients as well as the beauty pros. And then we use that data to iterate on the product, and then we push it back out into the market. We spent about a year doing this with our beauty pros, and that gave us the intel for the creation of the product. So the product was really developed by the consumer and the beauty pro.
That's great. And I want to stick with the data theme here, because it's not, of course, just being used to create product. I think personalization is something that obviously feeds off of data, which you as a digitally native company have quite a bit of. So I'm curious where you think you are on your personalization journey, and maybe even just how you think about personalization more broadly.
So we think we're the ultimate in personalization. Our beauty pros go into your home and they customize the look and the feel according to your specific needs and the occasion that you're going for. So if it's a wedding, you want to look one way on a Saturday night, and if you have a powerhouse meeting on a Monday, you can look a different way. And so we really feel as though this opportunity is highly personalized and customized to your individual needs.
And I think that's really interesting because so often I think everyone in this audience thinks about personalization as just being specifically technology driven, which of course, if you can do that right, that is a huge help. But it sounds like what you're saying is it needs to be a combination of both technology and that personal interaction.
It is. Our technology is proprietary. It allows us geo-targeting to ensure that our beauty pros are maximizing their time with their clients and on their own entrepreneurial work. And it allows us to customize the looks for the client. We do a lot of user-generated content on that. The client can send forth something to the beauty pro and communicate directly with their beauty pro prior to their appointment. So it is highly personalized and a very luxury experience.
And talk to me a little bit more about that proprietary technology, because I'm sure that's something folks in the audience would be curious to hear about. What do you think is the advantage of the fact that you did build that in-house? I would imagine you probably have a lot more capabilities than if you had just maybe bought something off the shelf.
Yeah, we're a tech company. At the end of the day, we're a beauty tech company, but we are technology driven. So we couldn't find a platform that existed with the intricacies that we needed around geo-targeting, feedback loop, and an app for our beauty pros. So we customized an app for our beauty pros that allows us to be in constant contact with them and also gives them the opportunity to talk to the clients. And it allows us to create great efficiencies with our workforce because we know where our beauty pro is at each moment and we can maximize their work in the field.
Yeah, so basically it's saying, hey, Krystina wants to get her hair done, and Amy is a beauty pro who's nearby, so we're going to sync her up with her. But I imagine there are probably some other factors that go into that personalization. Are you able to look at things like my hair type, my skin type, and sort of match me with a pro who is maybe an expert at straight hair that does not do anything else?
Absolutely. So we have a tiering system with our beauty pros, and if you have incredibly difficult hair, we can customize that to the individual pro. We have tagging in our technology, so if you have tough hair or you want volume or an updo or a braid, we have tagging in the technology, so it'll pull from the community of pros in that particular area and customize it to your needs.
That's great, and I would imagine that would take a lot of resources. It sounds like it does, but I know you guys are a startup, so what does that look like in terms of how many people you have powering this technology?
Yeah, we're a small company, so we have 15 to 20 people at any given time working for us, and the majority of our team members work full-time for us, and then we pull in people if we're launching a new part of our app or enhancements. We leverage other resources for additional people.
Great. Well, I know you also talked a little bit about, testing your own product in consumers' homes, but obviously there are people out there, who want a specific look done. Maybe you guys don't have a product there yet. Maybe it's not the right product for them. So I'd imagine you have a pretty good relationship then with third-party brands who are not, Glamsquad brands. Curious what that relationship looks like and how you're partnering with them to maybe get their products in front of your customers.
Sure. We are utilized very frequently for partnerships. We have partnered with companies like American Express. We were at the US Open last week in the Centurion Lounge doing hair and makeup for card members. We show up at the Oscars. We are at New York Fashion Week. We also have very, very different kinds of partnerships with brands. So most recently, we've worked with ColorFX, we've worked with Smashbox, we've worked with Pond's. We work with them by sampling in the home. As you can imagine, our clientele is the highest end of luxury, and they really are passionate about beauty. And our beauty pros can be educated by the brands to be utilized as a resource for communicating the information about the product to the client. So the way that looks is, let's just say we were doing a promotion with CoverFX. We get a concealer from them. They educate our beauty pros about the greatest parts of that particular concealer. The beauty pro then has samples that they go into the home with, and they leave the sample with the client. We then do some kind of email drive for purchase. And the response from that has been incredibly positive. The client loves it because they get a small sample, they get educated about product, and the brand loves it because it's the greatest level of intimacy you can have by educating the consumer around that particular product.
And maybe we should even circle back when you were just talking about who your customer is, because that might also be helpful. Who is your typical customer?
So our core customer is 25 to 55. However, we are very, very wide in regards to the people that we work with. We have 5-year-old birthday parties that we do. We have coming of life moments for prom and graduation, and we do silver anniversaries. What woman doesn't like to have hair and makeup and look their best? But our core customer is 25 to 55, and she is an active beauty consumer. She loves it. She's a purchaser. She gives us so much intel about how she's shopping, what she's looking for, and the voids in the market. Our beauty pros ask all the time, what don't you have? What are you looking for? One of the things that went into the development of our product was our clients told us consistently that there was not a flexible hold hairspray on the market that they loved, that it was either too heavy or too light. So we went into development of our hairspray with that exact criteria in mind, and we pushed it out into the field, and our beauty pros came back and said, nope, still too tough to hold. And we just kept iterating on it, and it was an amazing process. And our final product is one that our customers love.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think I want to switch gears here a little bit because you did have a pretty high-profile announcement, I guess it was last year, that you were going to be working with CVS.
Yes.
And offering Glamsquad services in CVS stores. And I think getting back to that question of the customer, it probably took a lot of people by surprise, right? Because you think about who the Glamsquad customer probably is, I would imagine. It's probably not quite the same as the typical CVS customer. So I'm curious what it was about them specifically that made you want to partner with them.
As an on-demand business, a lot of people know that businesses like this are looking for brick and mortar opportunities. And we went out into the market and realized after talking to CVS that they shared a similar mission with their passion to democratize beauty and allow beauty to be accessible to more women. It was a really exciting moment for us because obviously CVS has a lot of stores. We are currently testing in 4 stores 2 different models. We have our on-demand model in 2 of the stores, and then we put Glamsquad Beauty Pros into 2 stores. We're iterating against that model and getting lots of feedback, but the reaction from the consumer has been phenomenal, and we're both really excited about what we've seen to date with the results.
And what was your goal then going in? Was it thinking that you would eventually get CVS customers to convert and become Glamsquad customers, or was it more just, hey, we want to broaden our footprint and get into bricks and mortar?
I think it's both. I mean, for a brand like us at our size to have the opportunity to go into a lot of stores was super exciting. Mm-hmm. And of course, CVS has a very large database of beauty enthusiasts, and the idea that we could access that through this partnership was something that was really exciting. I also think there's an amazing rub-off for Glamsquad to be inside CVS stores. We're the cool young millennial company, and we've partnered with them to enhance the beauty area.
Yeah, well, I can imagine they're excited to have you there, and I know you can't share much, but is there anything that you can give us a teaser about what's next for the partnership?
Well, we're super excited about how things are going, and I'm happy to say that we're getting the feedback and looking towards much more as the next couple of months go on.
Great. So maybe at Shop Talk we'll have a big announcement to make there.
Definitely at Shop Talk.
Great. Well, I think zooming out a little bit here, CVS is certainly not alone in trying to make the store experience more engaging, more interactive. But I do think that sometimes experiential retail can be a real catch-all. Perhaps you just slop in a pizzeria or, just throw a juice bar in there and you're like, all right, I'm done. My store's experiential now. But I would imagine that that is not the key to success. So what do you think that retailers in the audience really need to be thinking about in order to get store experience right?
It's interesting because we spent a lot of time over the past couple of months analyzing what's been working and what hasn't been working. And I truly believe you can't just throw something in. I think CVS has been a great partner, and they believe the same, that it has to be highly curated, appropriate, and educational. For us to just show up in a CVS store doing hair, makeup, and offering additional services isn't something that the customer would expect. And so we have spent a lot of time doing focus groups and feedback sessions and really learning what the customer is looking for and how they want it. We are making iterative changes, so we are changing a lot from what we started with, and when we roll out, we expect it to look and feel a little bit different.
Yeah, well, we're excited to see those changes. And I also made sure to make a note of what you just said, which was educational, because I agree. I think beauty is an industry that has undergone such a sea change, right? It used to be you go to the grocery store, you pick up a magazine, and they tell you exactly what lipstick you should be buying, how you should be doing your hair. And you're sort of straddling that line, right? You're helping women and giving them advice, but you're doing it, I guess, in probably a less, I don't want to say forceful, but authoritative way. You're letting them have a voice there. How do you see the beauty industry evolving to become more democratic in that way?
Absolutely. I mean, Instagram is changing the face of beauty. It is allowing the younger consumer to identify with somebody out there in the universe that looks like them and acts like them. And as a result of that, we really believe in the idea of personalization. And we have offered our services to men, to women, to all different genders, and been very inclusive around our desire to ensure that anybody that wants to look and feel good can. And I really believe that the brands that are going to exist over the next 5 years are going to be brands that are communicating that message clearly and then educating about how they're doing it.
Yeah. And is Instagram a place that you guys are still, shifting quite a bit of your media? I guess the question is, where do you find to be the most valuable places to speak to your customers?
We absolutely use all social media. We just started to look into TikTok. I don't know how much everybody knows about TikTok, but just started with TikTok. Definitely younger consumer, but very engaged in TikTok. We use Instagram for both content and education, as well as paid media to acquire customers.
Okay, so just making sure you're spreading everything out and not getting too zeroed in on one specific platform.
We also have a very, very high repeat rate, so our customers are our best form of marketing and advertising, so it really works for us.
No, that's great. Well, I guess we're sort of running short on time here, so I really want to toss it over to you because we have talked about so many different things today. Curious, what is next for you guys? What's on the horizon? Is it new markets? Is it new customers, new partnerships? Just give us a little glimpse about the future.
So all of the above. Market expansion, we're in 6 markets today. We believe there's at least another 10 to 15 within the US. We absolutely know that we can go into Europe and Asia. They're very strong markets for us. In regards to partnerships, we have an incredible amount of inbound inquiry from brands to work with us. So no shortage on opportunities for people to be working with us. And product, right now we're in hair, makeup, and nails. We see the opportunity to go into facials, spray tanning, lots of other opportunities for product. And of course, once we go into an additional service, then we'll start to build the product around that service as well.
Well, since we do have a couple of seconds left, how do you prioritize all that? Because that was quite the laundry list of things.
Really focusing on the core first. I think we have to get our product right and working. We see expansion into wholesale channels, which we're currently direct to consumer. consumer. We've created something that we call H-commerce. We think it's home commerce is a really interesting next step for the consumer to be shopping. We know that the millennial consumers want everything instantly, and so being able to provide your product and services in a way that resonates with them in home is something that we're really following up on. So definitely focusing on the things that we do well first, and then considering expansion.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for joining us, and thank you all as well.
Thank you.